Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, sky watchers and skyliners. Welcome to the Vash Sky ParkCast. My name is Vash Sky. I'm going to be your host of today's ceremonies, going through all the theme park news, both grisly and divine. I say grisly because there's some stuff happening in the parks that, well, nobody likes to talk about. We like to talk about attractions. We like to talk about maybe perhaps executives approving big budget projects. Oh, how I do love that. Love refurbishments. Love clean parks. I guess we'll talk about that if we have time anyway, because we have to talk about trash, apparently. But in more ways than one. Anyway, that's a whole nother side tangent right there. Today we're going to be talking about the guests. The guests of the Disney parks and how they're misbehaving. That's not good. I don't like to see that. We like to see guests happy, joyful, going on attractions and so forth, having a fun time, and just behaving rather than misbehaving. Unfortunately, though, there's a couple of incidents here that don't look good. Yeah, we have to cover those as well because, well, people are, I understand they're stressed out. I understand that, things get out of hand sometimes, but you can't put hands on other people. That's a no-go. And please, silence all cell phones, turn off your flash, turn off your external lighting rigs if you could, if you happen to have a camera trained on somebody for the entire duration of a ride. Very, very interesting stuff indeed on all of this, and so much more. Let's go ahead and get everybody involved right here, including my producer extraordinaire. It is the one, the only Disney Fan 55. Hello there!
Welcome. To the program. Excited about this show? It's going to be wild.
It's going to be wild. That is absolutely the case right there. And I have to get the chat going on my other screen, get that all situated right there. I do believe we have a lot of exciting people, though, in the chat right now. Wanted to go ahead and, well, tell us about their day or tell us about the show or what have you. Is there anybody that we should be featuring right now?
Well, yes, Juliet, thank you so much. Thank you for being a mod. And she gives 2 British touring. And she says, evening, Vash Sky ParkCast, Skyliners and Sky Watchers. Thank you so much for the $2.
Indeed, Juliet gives us 2 British pounds sterling. That is very much appreciate that. Like Disneyland 55 said, very much appreciate everything you do to support the channel, whether it be modding, whether it be in the chat all the time, or supporting us this way. Very much appreciate that. Thank you so much. And please like, subscribe, do all those things. I know somebody. Well, actually, it was Juliet. There you go. It's like Back to the Future. Yeah, it's really interesting because I think I had. Oh yeah. Talk about the time zones right there. Yeah, I know, Just Dutchy, I do believe, if I'm able to say, I know you've been doing a little bit of traveling right there, so it's really, really interesting when you do actually, like, go back in time when, I don't know, when it's daylight savings time, technically, and you're going from Arizona to California. It's a little weird. It's a little strange that happens, and you lose time when you're coming back. It's bizarre. But I thought you were referring to my appearance earlier on WW Pro's channel right there. It is Back to the Future. You're seeing 2 of me today. I think it's Back to the Future 2, technically, for that. Ill Magic, though, coming on in here with the $1.99. Yo! What it do? Very much appreciate you. The power to the $1.99. Hail to the $1.99. Awesome stuff indeed. Look at this. Tom F. coming in here. Member for 4 months. That is awesome. Woo! It's 4 months. Let's go. Back to the Future. I know. I love Back to the Future. It's a fantastic, fantastic franchise, fantastic attraction. I do miss Back to the Future. We might actually have a little bit of an update on what's actually going on with that old Back to the Future building, or at least what's next door, what might be next for that building right there. All those things, maybe not so well, but can't wait to get into that conversation because there's a lot of interesting stuff happening there. We have so much right here. Just Touchy, thank you so much for joining us. That is fantastic. I know you usually can't join the Thursday program, so thank you. Well, Amanda Yavin right here. Go to bed. But to head there myself. Don't go to bed. Well, I mean, if you do, make sure you have us on in the background. At least, that hopefully you can go to sleep with my dulcet tones, putting you to rest right there. That would be very, very cool. LOL like a child in the elevator, touch all the buttons. Yeah, there's a lot of buttons going on. That is for sure. That's actually partially why we were just a little bit late. But don't worry, we'll make it up with great content. And I wish I had that to share with you at the start of this show. Unfortunately, this goes into what we're going to be talking about right here, and it is guest behavior. Guest behavior, no good. Now, most people going to the Disney parks are actually, like, well-behaved, they're well-mannered, they mind their P's and Q's, and they just like to enjoy their time at these places we so dear love. Some people, they go to the parks for different reasons, and in this case, going to the park to, I don't know, find fame or fortune, well, she got it, that's for sure. Ciao Baby Girl is the subject of today's story right here. And I'm trying to find the thing. There you go. That's the one right there. Ciao Baby Girl. You can see her right there on screen. What's to say about this influencer? Well, she just, I think, celebrating her quinceañera, I do believe, is how you say it. And it's that 15th celebration for a teenage girl, I guess, in Mexican culture right there. And it was a big celebration and so forth. And apparently it turned her into this big kick star. That's K-I-K right there. And so she's extremely popular. She is going to the park now with a whole big film crew, with a whole big live stream. Doesn't that sound familiar? Maybe Oblivion and some of the other streamers that we have covered over, I don't know, the last couple of years, both on T3PO and this show right here. Well,
what about you, Calvin?
Here's the newest entry.
What motivates you to keep going every day?
Honestly, like I really like streaming. It's like I'm living my life. I feel like when I was 14, like working, like I worked a good 3 years. Chris, I worked a good 3 years. Before like I started actually living my life. So I feel like I'm living my life. Like by just streaming and getting money, you get me?
Yeah.
Cause I had to work. I had to work at a register, like a retail job. But then I would put in the hours. Like I would go to school, go straight to work, sleep, school, go to work, sleep. So it was like a routine.
Yeah.
So I feel like now I can do whatever I want.
Yeah.
Because I'm able to come out and stream and make money. That's why I keep going.
And
That's why I keep going to stream, make money, you know, working that retail gig, I guess, when she was like, what, 14, 13, 12? The math doesn't quite work out or whatever. I've actually heard reports that she might be a little bit older than what she's saying. Not sure, but we'll take her at her word. She's 15, I suppose. And look, this is the reason why I'm showcasing this is because, well, she showcased herself via a live stream a few days ago when visiting Disneyland, again in celebration of this quinceañera right here. Why are we talking about Ciao Baby Girl? Well, unfortunately, she did cause quite a bit of a stir there with a couple of guests who she was riding besides on this famous Disneyland attraction, It's a Small World. Again, the 1964 classic right there, transported from the New York World's Fair to Disneyland, opening in, I believe, the summer of 1966. Been, serenading people around the world for all that time as it's been transplanted to all those Disney parks. Now, you can see right here where the problems start. Does anything strike you about this specific shot right here? If it's, hey, that's really bright, then yes, that's what, is something that you don't want to see, I will say, if you are riding on this specific attraction right here, because obviously you have a bunch of show lighting, right? You have a bunch of things calling for your attention, like the dolls, like those characters as added by Kim Irvine in the mid-2000s and so forth. These are the things you actually want to take in. But if you notice, this Ciao Baby Girl here is actually illuminated, and that is because there's an external lighting rig attached or within the confines of the camera right there, and that's illuminating her. Unfortunately, causing a distraction for those immediately behind her, like the boat behind her. As you can see, she's in the last seat of the vessel, which is good. That's fantastic. If you're going to be filming, that's ideal. However, if you're going to be using external lighting, that's not always enough. Let's go ahead and see what the person behind her thinks about all of this. Let's see right here. You can see there's a family behind her. It's not super illuminated, but you can see they are behind her right there, and they're trying to enjoy the attraction. And, well, he doesn't take kindly to that. As you can see, he flips off the camera. Now, you don't actually see that act. I had to actually remove it, but you can kind of see that things didn't quite go so well.
That snake is vibing.
You can see right here, using some language while on the attraction as well. Ironic, because this attraction is all about unity.
Because right there going in there.
Oh, that is our land.
Yeah. I like how this ride brings like unity. Yeah, everything together.
Yes.
Indeed, it would, and if you didn't have your light on there. But she goes through the entire attraction, camera trained on herself right there, with external lighting the entire time.
They stream sniped you already. Like they know you're on this ride. They know you're on this ride.
Oh, hi guys. Ciao baby la mazita.
You're gonna hear that saying a few times.
Thank you. I had a great quince. Y'all invited to the Swiss 16 happening in November. Ciao baby.
Indeed. As we've seen with other influencers, by the way, we've seen, when these guys have thousands of views and so forth for their live streams, you will obviously have maybe some fans in the actual park itself. People actually see that influencer on that live stream, see what last attraction they were on, will go to that attraction, and that's what the child there, or her, part of her posse, was referring to, that she was being stream sniped is what they call it. And so there you go, they're waiting for her off the attraction.
Actually,
I don't care. I don't care.
they didn't come do it in her face.
Come to my face.
I know.
So her cameraman just told her, hey, that guy over there just flipped you off during the actual ride itself. That's what she was responding to.
Come do it in her face. Wait, you saw or someone saw?
I saw. Because you recorded and then he went like that. Ciao.
I don't care.
He ain't making money, so don't
He ain't making
I'm
money,
not
so it
making
doesn't
money.
matter.
Now the other party right there, obviously because those two boats were together at one point, they got split off for the dual load-unload station right there. So they're on the other side there.
Do what you want. Haters gonna hate at the end of the day. Ciao, baby. La mazida, me vale verga.
Wait, was it a guy?
I think so. How weird. Of course, yeah.
Okay, now her stream has a couple of problems right here, so it kind of glitches out. But I did actually retain this segment because I wanted to go ahead and note that somebody asked her, when immediately leaving the ride, to actually take her picture. Now she actually starts with her crew right here of 4 at least, with her cameraman. They start to make their way out. Again, hard to see because it all glitches out, but they're actually starting to make their way out of the attraction right there. And then, obviously, they can hear that there's maybe a little bit of a stir at unload with that family, the aggrieved family, who had their, the light in their eyes the entire show. So they are currently complaining with a cast member. They obviously overhear some of those complaints, and that's when the gentleman in red, part of their party, actually makes contact with that aggrieved party right there. She now comes off of the stairs. Again, that was part of the exit right there. She comes off now, back onto the unload station to confront this party.
I find it really weird that you're grand.
This is obnoxious.
Don't follow.
Yeah.
Can you please stop?
You do not have
Delete that.
to
Delete that video of me, please.
Yeah, you need to turn that off. That was really very rude.
Just go.
Really rude.
Damn.
Okay, you can actually see right here, this is very, very interesting. So they obviously made contact with that family right there. They were very, very not happy about their experience, actually having been behind that light and being on record and so forth. Now, ironically, she asked the other family, I believe is the dad of the family right there, to actually delete his recording, because he actually did record them recording them, and so that's kind of interesting. Later on, she's going to say, hey, it's a public place, you can actually stream and do all those things, but apparently you can't record. It's a little bit strange. We'll get into that in just a moment, but let's go ahead and go back, see that interaction one more time.
I find it really weird that you're grand.
This is obnoxious.
Don't follow.
Yeah.
Can you please stop?
You do not have
Delete that. Delete that video of me, please.
Yeah, you need to turn that off. That was really very rude.
Just go.
Really rude.
Damn. I'm underage. That's harassment. That's harassment.
I am old enough to be your grandmother, and you should have some respect for your elders.
Okay, stream. This is stream. This is a public space. I could stream.
Now,
Bye. Have a nice day. God bless you. Bye. Ciao, baby. La mazina me vale verga.
It's a public place.
Excuse me.
So that's basically the extent of their interaction between the two parties. Now she goes to get clarification or to complain to a cast member at the exit right here.
They were talking because we can stream, right? We could record.
It's a public place.
It's a public place. They flipped me off. I'm underage, and then they're over here saying security.
Yeah, they're trying to kick us out.
That older lady and the guy and I don't know.
Like the camera wasn't even on them. It was on us.
It was literally on me.
No, I feel you.
So we can't get in trouble.
It's that guy. It's that guy in the blue shirt, and he was flicking us off the whole time.
You want to talk to them?
Everyone films videos here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course. Give me one moment, guys. Hold on.
Okay, so you can see that exchange right there. She is saying, hey, it's a public place. You can actually stream however you want. She asks for clarification from the cast member. Cast member says, yeah, you can record, you can stream, you can do whatever. It's fine. But as we all know, you can't do it with external lighting on dark rides. Now, people might be asking, why didn't actually Disney intervene sooner? Actually come on the announcement channel right there, actually make an announcement. Hey, go ahead and turn off your external lighting or no flash photography or any of those announcements that we have heard as part of our experiences on these dark rides before. I'll tell you this right now, Small World, at least at Disneyland, doesn't necessarily have that ability. I won't go into why or how or whatever. I'll just say that's just not an option at Small World. So the cast members, well, they haven't been clued in to any of this until, well, obviously now.
Well, that lady's so weird.
Respect your elders, baby. You're talking to a minor, mama. Whatever. I don't even want to entertain that.
Just let them.
Just let them be, because they're white and they're old and they're just envidiosos.
White, old, and idiosos. That would be idiot in Spanish.
Yes, of course. They're being racist. That's what you are. That's what they're doing.
That's obnoxious.
Thank you so much. Have a blessed day.
Of course, it's got to do with
Let's
race.
go to the castle.
Thank you so much. Have a good day.
Jessica's here. Let's go to
Thank you. Let's go to the castle. That's racist. As hell, mama.
Bro,
Anywho,
like we didn't do nothing to
like,
them.
girl boo. Girl boo. Girl boo!
That's why I told him, I was like, is there a problem? He's like, well, you had the flashlights the whole time. I asked you multiple times. I was like, you haven't even said nothing.
Shit, I never heard, excuse me, can't say turn it off. I never heard anything, so girl boo.
When I told him, I'm like, you're talking about
I told you multiple times.
Go, like, baby, that's a harassment. You forget I'm underage. Mama.
Even the lady said we could stream, record anything.
Yes, it's Disneyland. Have a happy ass time. Stop worrying about who's recording you. Because baby, we're not recording you.
Edited for language right there, but you can kind of see there's a sense of entitlement to how she's actually acting right now, which I suppose is no surprise when actually seeing maybe perhaps who raised her, which we'll go ahead and go into that shortly.
Okay, I'm done. That's crazy. What a
Unfortunately,
weirdo.
she's not done.
Who's recording?
Like, what? Like, girl, you're recording me too.
He had it in your face.
I low-key thought he was gonna slap my camera, bro.
I thought he was.
Damn.
He was like,
So, anger issues, that guy.
someone clip that guy.
I
Somebody
know.
clip that and freaking report that, because
Look, go back into
how
the video, you
embarrassing.
can
He's
see
like,
what
I'm old enough to be your grandmother.
Okay, then, girl, boo. You're not my grandma.
If you don't want to be on stream, then why do you come up to the camera?
I know. If you don't want to be on stream, why you come up to the camera? They just wanted attention.
They were recorded
Yeah.
the entire time. It's not like they had a
How weird.
choice, but fine.
I know. There were lights everywhere. Where was he sitting? No. Where was he sitting on the rope?
Behind us.
Then why didn't he tap my shoulder?
Because it wasn't in the same boat. It was a boat that was beyond that. The only way they could actually get your attention is if they yelled at you, causing a disturbance for now more people.
Here's on the other part.
Then why?
He said he told us multiple times. You weren't even close to us.
I was not close to him. So what do you mean you asked me? Because I never heard it. Anywho. Go, boo.
Ciao.
No, we have security right now.
Where's my security guard?
Where's my security
Where's my
guard?
security guard?
Where's my security guard?
The conversation about security is actually very, very interesting. So apparently the aggrieved family actually did lodge that complaint with Disney Security and with City Hall, who eventually actually tracked her down. And, well, one, to get to her side of the story, of course, but maybe making a determination that maybe perhaps surprised her. Let's go ahead and get to that the aftermath of that conversation right there. So like I was saying before, they did actually track her down. They actually bring her to City Hall in order to talk to her right there. And they discovered, well, not only is she a minor, obviously, but apparently the people that she was with this on the stay right here, well, Disney didn't feel that they didn't have parental guidance or a guardian, a suitable guardian, in order to control their behavior, which is very, very interesting. So her dad actually had to make his way down to Disneyland and actually meet her at City Hall. A streamer himself, by the way, at FKN Mike Martinez. Let's go ahead and hear this exchange.
Yep. Yeah. So what happened?
We're talking to him right now.
Let's go check. I'm gonna go check.
You can see some time has passed right here.
I don't know. She just told me to come. That they were right here.
The day is a little bit
what happened, baby?
faded there.
What happened?
A lot of things happened.
What did you have to do?
Well, because she's a minor, so I had to, an adult had to be here. That's responsible for her.
An adult had to be there that's responsible for her. So it sounds like to me, when examining this issue, it looks like they may, Disney that is, may have taken the aggrieved family's side in that exchange, because apparently they weren't going to let her leave City Hall without being accompanied by a parent, which is very, very interesting.
You all right?
Sad.
You guys good? It was a mess. He was lost. I was texting her, texting the kids. They're telling me that you're over here, that she's over here, that they weren't letting you out. It was a mess right now. I'm glad you found them. I got my sister.
How do you feel? How you feel? Who was messing with you? We're here to back
So
you
what
up.
happened?
These two older white people came up to me saying I was recording them, and then they told me were flipping me off. So I think they did talk to security, and we were walking, and they took us in to ask us questions. And
How did you get her out?
Because an adult had to come and pick them up. They're minors.
Oh, what were you doing?
Well, he's with the crew.
Yeah, they were like, they need a parent.
That's crazy.
They didn't believe me because my ID's from Nebraska, so they said it was fake.
What the?
I swear, my
Very suspicious on that one there, but we'll go on.
ID's from a different state.
All right, well,
All right, are you gonna go live? I
Well,
think they were messaging that asking for you to go live. Your followers want to see what happened to you.
I don't really want to go live anymore.
You're bummed out.
Yes, I'm bummed out because this is supposed to be a happy thing on earth, and then over here
Don't let it get to you though. Don't let it get to you. You're good. You're good. Let's try to enjoy the rest of the day. As long as nothing serious happened, we're good.
Yeah.
Don't even sweat it. So we actually just went live. We had some problems going live. I couldn't find him. He was having trouble.
Sadly,
connecting. So the good thing is that we're good now.
the
Let's roll. You guys ready?
young
Let's roll.
female celebrating
Let's
her
have some fun,
quince.
guys. Let's have some fun.
Oh, she was a little bit aggrieved. She was a little bit, perhaps maybe offended, maybe surprised at the outcome of that specific exchange. But, oh no, they're not done. Later on that day, they actually have a meal together and explain the situation yet again.
The lady got mad because behind us, the cameraman was in front, so he was recording to the back. So the guy the whole time was flicking off the camera, and so when we got off the ride, he was recording us and showed the people running the ride. Y después la viejita said, "Yeah, that's inappropriate, blah blah blah." And so I went up to the guy. I was like, "Was there an issue? Is there an issue?" And he was like, "Oh, the light was on the whole time. It was disturbing. I didn't even enjoy the ride, blah blah blah." I was like, "There's lights everywhere. What do you mean? And you're recording?" I was like, "Everyone's recording." And then Chow's when she came and she was like, the lady started getting up to her and everything.
Like that?
Yeah. Oh my god.
I'm not a violent person, Ari, but you should have socked that.
That's why I got arrested.
That's her father, by the
No,
way.
I'm kidding.
No, but Ari's a cool too.
I'm kidding.
Hey, cat fight. Popcorn.
Most unfortunate right there. Obviously, they, stop talking about it, continue on with their day. Haven't seen Chow Baby Girl ever since that interaction over there at City Hall, so not sure what happened to her, but it does seem like so many people are saying in the chat, yes, all of this for attention, for sure. Making a larger deal of it than it should have otherwise been. Now, I do think we had the Rogue Attraction actually here. Was any of this planned? To me, it doesn't look like it. To me, it genuinely does look like there was an aggrieved family there. And they were simply, their time on this beloved attraction right there, which, the wait was 20 minutes for, was ruined in their eyes. And I would have to agree, right? When you have bright lights in your eyes coming from the boat ahead of you, that's just not good etiquette right there. That's just not a good time for everybody that happens to be behind you. Now, thankfully, she was in the last word of her boat, but as you can see on this particular attraction, these vehicles or these boats, they do stack up very, very closely. So that's pretty sad to see right there. Thankfully, though, it looks like Disney did rectify the issue and actually pick the side that I think was really at fault here, which is somebody who decided to make it all about her, even while on this beloved attraction right here. What's most interesting about this, too, is that, she has a history of doing stuff like this. As I was going through her social media, it's very interesting what you actually find. Here's a video of her. Just, let's see here. Let's see. I have to stop sharing that screen. I have to go ahead and share another screen right here. There's her making social media posts at Dispatch, something we didn't actually see.
The way I marketed my 15, it went stupid viral.
I'm a big fan of Benji too because 3 years ago when he released.
Oop. Right there. And then right there. Ooh, is my audio okay? Yeah, there. You get the picture.
Baby, ¿dónde está? Just calaquín con tu puta.
Certainly about her. And even months before this specific incident, which took place about 2 days ago, you had this at a public mall.
Ciao, baby!
Oh my god, stop.
And again, it's somebody who is listening to this and saying, hey, could you please stop being obnoxious? Which is ironic because that's the terminology that they used over and over again when actually discussing this incident and the other person. It's almost like confession through projection, if you will. Lastly, but not least for sure, and she also has a history of publicly fighting there and, getting into tussles there. Can't play this video, but you can probably imagine what actually happens beyond this point right here. But if all of this behavior seems very familiar to you, well, that's because somebody that she knows, somebody that was actually at her Kinsey, was oblivion. Oh yes, the person who actually got swatted at Disneyland, had that huge police presence right there, and had Disney rethinking for a period of time right there, should we even be allowing these large live streamers in our parks being able to live stream to thousands, maybe perhaps even millions of people? Well, you can see right here the Oblivion connection. So Chow Baby Girl there, well, her time was bummed, and for the other party right there, obviously not having a good time either. go ahead and put on Disney Fan 55 here for just a second to talk about this specific issue right here. I know we had some commentary when actually talking about this, when actually reviewing this footage here. I wanted to go ahead and play this for everybody in order to provide some context as to the live streaming situation currently existing in the parks. And honestly, it's only a situation because of these influencers. Now, I'm not talking about like the, Barry Place 28s and the theme park casuals and the Accordion Californias. Those are excellent live streamers who are very respectful and mindful of those around them. And obviously, maybe perhaps have good manners indeed. I know for a fact they do. I'm talking about the big influencers. I'm talking about the Oblivions, right? The Phase Rugs, the Speedy type individuals who actually come to the park and make it all about them while visiting. Multiple people actually coming up there and wanting photos with them, right? Creating these huge disturbances outside of attractions like Pirates of the Caribbean, like Indiana Jones, like Big Thunder Mountain Railroad, Small World, those types of things. Disney Fan 55, what do you think about all of this?
Really interesting stuff. I think it's becoming a problem. Very much like the teen takeover kind of thing. And I think just as Dusty asked a question, the question was she influencing? And really, she's influencing herself, is what she is. You can tell a difference. One of the main differences you can tell on a streamer like, Barry Place 28, Casual, some of the streamers that really, they're trying to share with you the parks. And because there's a lot of people that can't go to the parks. So a lot of people really do appreciate that live coverage. She's not showing the park. She's only showing herself. So there's your difference.
Correct.
Where is the camera facing? It's facing on her. Now she's saying, well, why didn't they tell me? Why didn't they tell me? Why didn't they, tap me on the shoulder? She probably would have claimed it would have been more than harassment if he touched her on the shoulder. I'm sure it would have been something else. But,
right.
Almost every single ride, they tell you no flash photography. You can take pictures, you can take videos. Do not have flash photography. Don't use lighting equipment. And so I think that could be what, Disney needs to work more on, she acts like she didn't know. She knew. Every ride tells you that. It's common sense, and it is, like the lady said, she was being rude. And they have no awareness of their surroundings. They don't care what anyone thinks or feels. And the other thing that I have a real problem here is, I guess on her quinceañera, she's 15 now. She just found out she can't do anything she wants to do. Now her parents think, oh, keep going. You're a good girl. You're a girl. Well, she had to work. She says, I had to work all those years. I don't know if she's working for her family. I really don't know. It kind of sounds like it, but wow, this family, you can tell how she got raised here. But it's really sad.
Well, it's very, very interesting because there certainly is a sense of entitlement, right? Maybe passed on, which is no good right there. You also see that she says in this viral moment right here, oh, well, everybody has free will and I'm able to do whatever I want. But then when actually, somebody actually says, hey, you were being very, very obnoxious during our ride through right there. Well, now suddenly, I'm underage. You can't say those things to me. You got to, delete the video that you actually have of me and, all of these things. And it's like, okay, so either you have free will or you don't because you're apparently underage or any other range of excuses or reasons that she'll create in her head and so forth. And it's all coming to this idea that there's a lack of a sense of responsibility and certainly fueled by entitlement. And it's no good. Don't like to see this. And hey, if you're going to have somebody who is this young, maybe unaccompanied by a guardian who can actually release them from City Hall, perhaps maybe instilling some values in order to assist with the situation right here, maybe being perhaps more cognizant of other people around you, that would go a long way in mitigating these issues right here. I'm not saying that, somebody who is aggrieved should confront this group, but if you witness a series of events right here, they actually didn't confront them. They didn't actually go out and confront them. You can actually see that the dad there taking the other way out, actually, to try to separate himself from this situation right here. It was them who actually approached the aggrieved family right here and got into that argument with them, which is all. It speaks to maybe a perhaps certain pattern of behavior as demonstrated in these clips and in her social media posts on her social media page right there. So there you go. Another streamer incident. I would say less high profile as our previous ones right there. Certainly not oblivion in terms of scale. But it does demonstrate this very entitled, maybe perhaps culture being infused, right, with this very narcissistic streamer culture that I think is perhaps diminishing the guest experience for so many of us who want to actually visit these parks, take in these attractions and so forth. And maybe perhaps Disney does do something about it at some point. The fact that they really hadn't following the Oblivion incident was a bit surprising. But if you don't do something, well, I think incidents like this are bound to happen more and more and more. Any final thoughts?
I really thought this was interesting too. Running over to a cast member, always want to get help. See, I'm just a little girl, and we were just filming. We could film, right? We can film. So now she can go. We're not going to get in trouble, or we're not going. Why would she think she's going to get in trouble? Very, very much like what Oblivion showed. The video that you have with him. You got the whole video. I encourage anyone to go back and watch that. Is fantastic. He got trespassed from the park, and she knew you inherently know you've done something wrong. It's like, we can just film. She failed to tell them that they had a big light in people's eyes. You think about people, that go to Disneyland, go to the parks, not everybody is a pass holder or a magic key holder, and this could be their once in a lifetime trip, and they don't want to enjoy these rides with a light in their face the whole entire time. People talk, the other big issue I have with her is she is cussing all over the place. There are kids everywhere, and she's using very strong language.
It took me like an hour to remove all of the foul language from these various clips right here, which, by the way, while she does cuss herself, her father does too. So, there's, see-do type attitude right there. Very interesting as well, when you said the lighting rig, she didn't mention it. That is very, very interesting, because I think that was a point of contention for Disney themselves. I'm sure they were looking to find out if, in fact, there was external lighting used right there. But when her dad confronted her, she didn't actually mention that to him. I think she just goes into the fact that an old white lady was quote-unquote harassing her, and not actually setting up or demonstrating or providing the context of what may have actually incited that incident to begin with right there, which is why they needed multiple forms of clarification afterwards. So it's just very, very interesting right here. Oh, go ahead, please.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry. Think about it. She's 15. Quinceañera. She's 15. She's come of age. Now, I thought, personally, Disney handled that very well. They could have kicked her out. They could have said, do not record anymore. Put your cameras away. That's it for you. They said, you need to have a parent with you. Didn't even let the guy with yellow ears on be her chaperone. Now, that for Disney, you used to be able to allow children to go on any ride, anywhere, 7 years and up. So when you were growing up, it was 7 years and up. Now they've raised the bar to 14. So anyway, that's 14, they can take their brother or sister. They have to have someone 14 or older. Not this girl. They said, you need to have a parent. And the bad thing is, I think the parents need to have a parent. But at this point,
that's a good point.
I'm thinking they're thinking she's gonna have a responsible parent.
No, and
but
I do. I will say this is a strategy, right, employed by Disney in this specific context that we've actually seen employed in other parks, not Disney, like Six Flags, SeaWorld, Universal, and otherwise, in which they have maybe been a victim of teen takeovers or may have been a victim of some rowdy behavior. I believe in the context of Knott's Berry Farm, one of the first times they actually employed a chaperone policy, which is the policy taken by all these distinct parks right here. It was actually involved the pew-pews. Okay, that's why they enforced that. But I think that's a good compromise, right? It's like, okay, well, you can go ahead and stream, which she was able to do. She never said that she couldn't. She just said she didn't want to. You're able to stream, you're able to be here, but you really had to have a guardian. Because, I mean, this situation could have escalated very, very quickly. It really could have gotten out of hand. And had a guardian actually been there, maybe been a little bit more observant and so forth, and maybe with a mature head, let's say, perhaps a lot of these issues could have been mitigated entirely. Unfortunately, that didn't take place before, but I do appreciate the fact that more parks are using chaperone policies, employing them in order to mitigate these issues right here, especially when you have various teen takeovers, social media posts, and all of that, trying to get all of this stuff going. All right, that just about concludes Ciao Baby Girl right there. Thankfully too, because I can't listen to her anymore. I was editing videos there, and I was just like, oh, this is terrible. This is nauseating. But hey, you know what? C'est la vie. That's what happens. That's the sacrifice we all make to you, so that way you don't have to. All right. Unfortunately, guest behavior continues right there. Don't worry, John, make it rain. We're leading up to that in just a moment. But for Walt Disney World News today, responders ask New Jersey woman at Disney World to go to hospital for extreme intoxication. She instead gets arrested for assault. This by Eric Morton, August 5th, 2026. What's very interesting about this article by Walt Disney World News today is that there's actually two separate incidents included in one article. I know that kind of confused some people, but here you go. In the first incident, Disney first responders were attempting to care for Hugh's mother at Epcot's China Pavilion when Hughes yelled for help for his mother and, quote, attempted to push his way in next to her and push an EMT several times, end quote. Central Florida Tourism Oversight District EMT reported that while Hughes yelled, he was, quote, was in the way of responding EMTs. EMTs told Hughes that to stand aside and to allow her to assess the patient and start providing treatment. Okay, so you have an EMT right there. Apparently it's a female. She's working with his mom right here. And he's like, hey, I want to be next to my mom. And then pushes the EMT out of the way several times. Apparently, I believe it was 3 times reported right there. When they're saying, hey, back up. Let us do our duty. Let us do our job. Apparently Hughes wasn't having it. He was responding by pushing her. The EMT said he, quote, pushed her to the side approximately 3 times in an attempt to get next to his mother. The report goes on to say that, quote, the shove was hard enough to push her to the side, but she did not lose her balance and was uninjured. The battalion chief stepped in, ordered Hughes to back away. The chief also called for the sheriff's department to intervene. The report does not provide details on the nature of the medical call with Hughes' mother or give an update on her condition. Hughes' attorney declined to comment and answer questions. Hughes was arrested and spoke to law enforcement to give his side of the story. Quote, Daniel stated that after he got off the ride at Epcot, he found his mother on the ground having a medical emergency, again in that China Pavilion right there. Once the EMTs arrived, he stated that they pushed him to the side in an attempt to access the patient. Daniel then stated that he used the back of his fingers to lightly touch the EMT and push it to the side. The reason for this was Daniel wanted to be next to his mother, the patient, the report said. And the EMT wanted to press criminal charges. He was taken to the Orange County Jail, being charged with battery on an emergency medical care provider, which is a 3rd-degree felony. He pleaded not guilty in June, according to Orange Circuit Court records right there. No good if you want to go ahead and visit Epcot right there. But wait, it gets worse. Now, this is a separate incident with an entirely separate party. Okay, here we go. The second incident occurred when Disney first responders were dispatched to Disney's Saratoga Springs Resort, tried to persuade Effie Crilly, 44, of Bridgewater, New Jersey, to go to the hospital because they were concerned about her level of intoxication, the report said. She refused. The sheriff's department was called. Quote, when I entered the unit, I began speaking with Effie, told her that the fire department needed her to go with them so that she could be medically evaluated. Orange County Sheriff's Deputy Darren Callwood wrote in the arrest report. Effie refused to go with the fire department, so I proceeded to ask her if she required assistance getting onto the stretcher that rescue brought for her. Effie then began using profanity and told me that I'm not blank retarded. Okay? While walking towards me and forcefully pushing me in my chest with both hands, I then grabbed Effie by her arms and secured her in handcuffs. Again, Crilly was restrained on the stretcher and taken to Dr. Phillips Hospital after she was medically cleared. She was taken to the Orange County Jail. She has pleaded not guilty to battery on a law enforcement officer. Again, a third-degree felony, according to Orange County Circuit Court records. And her attorney declined to comment. This is pretty crazy stuff right here, because, usually first responders, maybe perhaps law enforcement officers who are, intervening on behalf maybe of somebody else for somebody who is actually intoxicated, usually they'll tell you, hey, let's go ahead and get you back to the room, have you sleep it off, you're fine. In fact, here, though, they were like, you are so drunk, you got to go to the hospital. That's pretty crazy. That's pretty wild. Unfortunately, she was too drunk to maybe know perhaps what she was actually doing right there. Assaulted an LEO, which you cannot do. Pretty crazy stuff here, Disney Fan 55, coming out of Epcot. And, Saratoga Springs.
This is crazy. I mean, to go to the hospital, for them to say, I think you need to go to the hospital, it must have been really, because that's poisoning, basically, is what they thought she had, is alcohol poisoning. I like Pilot Adventures here. ECPA equals drunk people. And
yeah, exactly. I mean, it's so often we see this.
Yeah, that always result in problems.
Absolutely. And with the increased emphasis on alcohol and so forth, you do get into these situations in which you have these horrible incidents, right? These horrible encounters with other people. Could you imagine if an influencer, I don't know, maybe take your pick, right? With 1 million followers on live stream, maybe with that same sense of entitlement / narcissism as we saw with Shop Baby Girl right there. Could you imagine if they were intoxicated and, felt aggrieved or felt mistreated or whatever, what they're actually capable of? That's no good. Don't want that. But unfortunately, this is a story that we're seeing over and over again, where you have this misbehavior from guests actually fueled by some alcohol, or drinking, that kind of thing. So it's not good. It's not what you want to see right there at some of these happiest places on Earth. Unfortunately, it gets much, much worse. This is no good right here. Let's go ahead and get this on screen right here for everybody to see. Walt Disney World News today. Man reportedly punched pregnant girlfriend several times aboard Disney Skyliner. Goodness gracious, August 6, 2026 right here. Authorities investigated an alleged domestic incident on the Walt Disney World Skyliner gondolas involving a woman who was 4 months pregnant, according to law enforcement and court records right here. I do believe, let's see here, so that way you're not looking at a wall of text this entire time. Let's see if I can actually get some Skyliner footage here to put us at the scene of the crime. Allen, 27, of Chicago, was arrested for aggravated battery on a pregnant person, although the state's attorney office later declined to pursue criminal charges in July. During the May incident, the alleged victim was, quote, described as visually distraught and had a, quote, visible injury bruise to the right side of her face near her eye. The woman said that she and her boyfriend got into a heated verbal argument, which later turned physical after Alan grabbed her, the report said. Alan, who was in Disney Springs at the time, was arrested because the sheriff's department found probable cause that he committed the second-degree felony. The couple's argument started when the woman's son was feeling tired standing in line for a ride on a hot day at Disney's Hollywood Studios. Again, it's a hot day, a lot of stress. Things can certainly turn heated, but do they turn violent? Let's see. So the woman wanted to leave the theme park, and his girlfriend argued on the walk to the gondolas outside the park's entrance. The woman said she called a, quote, cousin on the phone to de-escalate the situation. That made Alan angrier. The woman told authorities Alan got on the phone and his, quote, sister and asked if he should, quote, smack his pregnant girlfriend. Quote, Alan then walked up to the woman who was seated inside the Skyliner and stood in front of her. Again, standing. The woman then stood up and the two were face-to-face arguing with one another. The woman then advised that Alan grabbed her with two arms by her chest, so she grabbed him by his shirt and also by his chin, which was around his neck, the arrest report said. She then advised that Alan began punching her several times, with at least 2 times in her face and several more times in her arm and leg. The woman told law enforcement that she hit Alan back in self-defense. The woman was 16 weeks pregnant with Alan's child, which would be their second child together. She told authorities that she did not want to press charges against him and refused to give a written statement. Sheriff's Department took photos of the woman for documentation in the case. At first, Alan insisted nothing had happened between him and his girlfriend and would, quote, only acknowledge getting into a heated verbal argument, the arrest report said. Then he accused his girlfriend of hitting him, which caused a blood clot in his left eye. Authorities again took photos for evidence. He was taken to the Orange County Jail, but complained his stomach hurt, so he was taken to a hospital. After he was medically cleared, he returned to jail. However, the state's attorney's office decided earlier this month not to press charges. Indeed. That's some of the... these are bad incidents, obviously. These are terrible things, and sometimes the attorney's office will say, hey, look, listen, if she doesn't want to press charges, if in fact we don't have necessarily evidence to pursue this case and so forth, then they might not. But enclosed Skyliner vehicles, perhaps, people being left unaccompanied in them, again, can turn into an issue as well. Don't know if alcohol was actually involved in this case right here, but we have been seeing a string of unruly cases at these Disney parks there at Disneyland 55. Not good.
Not good at all. You know what? This was really, really sad because
it is.
She's caring about her child. So we've just seen parents that how they raise their kids. Now you kind of wonder about these ones here because she had a child. She was worried about the heat. Well, he should be worrying about both of them. Her being pregnant in the heat and his child in the heat too. And no, he just wants to stay there. It's just beyond sad.
It really is. It really is very, very sad. Obviously, there are altercations at these places, just like any other place. But again, when you have added stress, when people are tired and they haven't gotten a lot of sleep, perhaps, and you get that heat going, these things, they definitely turn into a witch's brew that could conceivably turn violent right here. No good. Can't do this. Absolutely awful situation right here. These kind of domestic situations here, not good. And hopefully, these are places for families to actually come together, not be split apart. Pilot Adventures here. Do they have cameras on the Skyliner cars? They do not. The reason is because they have well over, I believe, 350 Skyliner buckets. If you could imagine monitoring all of those, what would that even look like? I mean, you'd have to have a monitor the size of the leaderboard at a football stadium or something like that. I mean, it would be absolutely massive. So you would, maybe perhaps split up that workload, maybe between 20, 30 people probably in order to handle 350 plus Skyliner buckets. But again, is Disney going to necessarily utilize that many resources in order to monitor every single Skyliner bucket? And that's if in fact they even have the power required to actually facilitate that kind of operation. I don't think they actually do. Now, we did talk about this. We did talk about the issues related to this when talking about those, Skyliner dancing, and how dangerous an act that actually was and so forth. Please, hands, arms, feet, and legs inside the vehicle at all times. There's no question about that. But also remain seated, please. It is a point of emphasis. And there's a reason why we have a clip of it on this channel right here, because it's absolutely, it's what you should be doing in this case. Unmonitored, alone, right? A lot of operations managers would like to have these Skyliner buckets with multiple parties in them in order to tamp down on some of that misbehavior actually occurring within these Skyliner buckets. Unfortunately, in this case, an enclosed space like a Skyliner was the worst place for this to not only be, but for them to be and so forth, and may have led to perhaps a physical altercation, which is no good. Don't like to see that. I think it's horrible. And no cameras in this space. Unlike maybe perhaps the Hogwarts Express over there at Universal, they monitor every single cabin, but it's only like 8 cabins. So a little, it's easier to manage that workload. And perhaps, we have seen some tech regarding this whole thing. Obviously, operations managers looking to utilize technology wherever they can. I know that a patent was filed by Universal to have AI or machine learning actually monitor queues and so forth, monitor enclosed spaces in ways that maybe a human can't. It would be interesting if Disney were to employ a similar technology related to the Skyliner, but only time will tell. Oh boy. We've got one more for you. It's a doozy. May have been one you already heard of, but we'll cover it. Flight of Passage. Fight of Passage. Guests sprawl in queue at Disney's Animal Kingdom. This by Eric Morton here, August 2nd, 2026. 2 groups of guests decided to, quote, rise to the challenge in the queue for Avatar Flight of Passage today, according to a Reddit user who posted a video of the incident. Again, this being August 2nd here. According to the user, United Excitement 329. An argument had been going on, we don't want to show too much of that, had been going on between the two parties for much of the 80-minute wait for the ride. By the time they neared the load area, that argument turned physical. Both men and women can be seen throwing punches and pushing one another in the video itself. The video lasts for a little over a minute. It's unclear what happened after the video ends, but there was a call to the Orange County Sheriff's Office that matches the location of events at 11:21 there. Let's go ahead and see if we can actually get this video up for you guys so you guys can at least see some moments of it. I can't, I've been told by Jared from Capture the Magic actually that he was actually, he I believe had his videos taken down because of what was actually featured within them. So we're going to go ahead and be very careful about that for that reason. Let's see if I can just share this, share that, boom, boom, boom. There you go. And put that on screen right there. You can kind of see what is going on. So you can see there's some tussling there between two parties. Not sure what the context of this all is. I believe, according to multiple reports, that there were 2 parties involved, at least 2 families, and they were waiting for Flight of Passage in, I believe, an 80-minute queue, and there was some kind of altercation or disagreement between the 2 parties right here, which led to this larger altercation that went physical that you're seeing on screen right now. You can kind of see what that kind of looks like, though. A lot of hands, a lot of trading, maybe perhaps blows and so forth. You can see, the guy, is raring to punch somebody on that end. But what gets confusing here is you'll actually see the camera actually zoom out. You can see a cast member right there. Unfortunately, she can't get involved, so I'm sure she's calling for security, which they have a limited set of tools at their disposal as well. You can see here now we have another I guess, portion of the party getting into physical altercation on the other side of this queue. Again, this is at the distribution zone, which is very, very interesting. If everybody would just remain cool for the 80 minutes, they were literally right about to be on the ride. Now you have to be taken aside, you have to be interviewed by security, who knows if you're actually trespassed and so forth. It's a whole big mess. But this was at the point where they were distributing the parties for the individual rows and so forth. So that's the kind of the ironic thing about this. But you can see right here, there's another incident taking place further back in this queue section right here. And then I don't want to play too much of this. You can kind of see right there, one of the ladies actually winds up and actually does make contact several times on the gentleman in white right there, which is no good. And somebody else actually takes a shot at him too, which is no good. You can kind of see right here, after all of that tussle, you can see, again, people are trying to say back up or whatever. Well, some middle fingers there. That's no good. Don't want to see that. You can see they're just getting into it. People want to still be physical. Some people don't want to be. Men are trying to break this up right here. Yeah, it's no good. It's not what you want to see. There's also another video. Dorgan Millie here, actually showing some blows, apparently. We won't be playing this too much here. But you can kind of see right there the guys getting into it. This is further up in the queue. So this is why it's a little bit weird, because we have two incidents as part of that first video. But it's within the confines of a single video. So I'm not quite sure what's going on right there, not sure the exact context. You can kind of see right there that scuffle is about to take place. Indeed it does. And yeah, no good. Don't want to see any of that at all. Goodness gracious. It is crazy what is happening right here. Let's go ahead and get Disney Fan 55 back on right here. What are we witnessing? What is going on? What is happening? We've had so many altercations and fights and so forth take place within a very short amount of time at both properties, both at Disneyland and Walt Disney World. Is there a change in the culture, or are people more narcissistic, more entitled, more inebriated? What say you?
I think it's a little bit of everything. I think alcohol could be involved. Now they're serving more and more of it. Just suggest you hear Disney sounds more like the most stressful place on earth. And you know, with all the things that you have to go through to do a vacation now at Disneyland, Disney World, it is stressful and it's hot too. It's so expensive. Some of these people, you know, it might be their only trip of a lifetime. You don't know. And so they're trying to make the best of every single minute. So it becomes stressful because every single minute that they're there in line, waiting, it just becomes more and more stressful because they're trying to get everything done. You know,
you're trying to
just a few
pack
days.
so much. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're trying to pack so much into a day, right? Or a few days, like you said. There's a lot on offer that Disney provides, but you know, it's thousands of dollars maybe to actually go by planes, thousands of dollars to actually stay there for the week or multiple days and so forth. And it is thousands of dollars to actually walk into these places, especially if you have a family and you're going for multiple days. So there's a lot of pressure, there's a lot of stress to actually get it done in a very short amount of time. And unfortunately, that creates a bad situation, which now you are going into these parks with stress, with pressure, with stress, right? With in a state that is already not great. And so when things go wrong, right? When people maybe, I don't know, perhaps cut in line, or maybe your lightning lane can't be fulfilled, or maybe a ride breaks down, what have you. Maybe you get inebriated with this, the heat's bouncing off you. Like I was saying before, with all of these specific incidents, you know, things get stressful, things get short. And obviously that has the potential to become physical. Now, thankfully, in Child Baby Girl's case, give them credit, nothing did get physical. But with all these other incidences, they did. And it's important to be mindful. Just mind your P's and Q's. And look, even if you are okay, it doesn't mean the other person that you're interacting with is okay. So it's all those things and more right there. Just, remain seated. Stay in your seat. Right. Everything will be all right.
Remain seated, please. Permanecer sentados, por favor.
Love it.
Indeed.
I think too, a lot of people are probably really trying to pack. You can't go to Disney 2 weeks, 3 weeks. A lot of people can't. They might even just get one day off. I don't know. But I think a lot of, even us, we've shortened a lot of our trips, because of the expense of it. So you're packing more into way less time. You're a little bit more, free if you think, oh, well, I'm going to be here tomorrow. I'm going to be here the next day. It's okay. We'll get it all done. But no, if you only got a few days, it's all into one nice couple days. It's real stressful. I also kind of wonder about some of the disability arrangements that Disney has been offering. So you might not get a DAS, which is a disability assistance pass. So they'll say, okay, if you can't stand in line, maybe you have some kind of a problem that you cannot stand in line, you can't be in the heat. You'll have your party wait in the line and then join later. I wonder if this is being caused by that too, that people are joining the line. Now, I guess there's a lot of cutters. They say, oh, I've got my party up there, I've got my party, and then 10 people come in, so that's going to, I'm sure, cause fights. But I don't know if this is causing a problem with what they're doing and having people, because not everybody knows that that's a disabled person. Their party has waited. They were told to do that. I'm just kind of makes me wonder.
Yeah, you're referring to the new DAS-related policies, right? Or the DAS alternatives, I should say, where your party can actually be escorted to a place in line to join other people and so forth. Yeah, I've always kind of wondered about that, and I've always kind of said, like, ugh. I mean, and a lot of times the cast member will actually accompany you to that spot, make way for you, get you there, all of that. And I guess if there's a cast member there, perhaps that's a different story. But again, joining people in lines, that gets dicey. Even in the early days of FastPass, there were fistfights among guests, and that was back in the 1990s, right? So, just because the cast member is right there, or just because everybody is supposedly of age and not inebriated and so forth, doesn't mean that fights can't break out. O2RR here, though, coming in with the 499. Disney Guest of the Month award for August are awarded to all the hooligans you covered. Seriously, was not expecting multiple hooligans this month. Yeah, it's crazy. It's insane how we've had so many hooligans, right, in the last 30 days or so. Pretty wild. Pretty crazy. And look, Walt Disney World services a lot of guests, right? And I guess per capita, when looking at other locations, obviously the rate of incidences might be far less than maybe a big city and so forth. Still, though, no false sense of security here. You are among people. Anything can happen. Head in a swivel. Speaking of anything that happened, a lot of things are happening to a union who decided, hey, you know what? We're going to go ahead and unionize, and we're going to go ahead and get better working conditions and all of that. And I remember covering this with, Jonas? Back in the day, we were surprised at the allegations coming out from some of the people who were going to be part of this newly formed union right here. Specifically, the people who actually work the parades and so forth, meet and greet locations, entertainment for the Disneyland Resort. These are the people who are saying, hey, we need union representation as well. We have horrible working conditions. Let's go ahead and make this happen. And they did. The only problem is that they haven't had a contract actually worked out for the 2 years or so they've been a thing. And now, well, they might actually be losing in this transaction, not gaining. Talk about it more here. From Walt Disney World News today, Disneyland proposes no paid parental leave and fewer holidays for union performers. This by Shannon Ace, August 5th, 2026. Unionized character performers at Disneyland Resort could lose parental leave and have their holiday pays cut as contract negotiations continue nearly 2 years after they began. After forming under Actors Equity Association, do apologize, in early 2024, Magic United has been negotiating with Disney for their first contract since October 2024. The group includes 1,700 performers from Disney parades, shows, and meet and greets. Disney's most recent proposal, according to a Los Angeles Times report, does not include paid parental leave, eliminates a paid holiday, and reduces how much Disney matches employee contributions to their 401k plans. A labor relations manager wrote to union leadership in April 6th, an email viewed by the Times, the LA Times that is, quote, "Our proposal does not include paid parental leave and reduces the number of paid holidays for full-time workers from 12 to 11, eliminating Easter." Easter. Disneyland Resort spokesperson Jessica Jacari, I do believe is how you say that right there, said in a statement, Disneyland Resort values its cast members, offers competitive benefits, and is proud of its long history of working collaboratively with the unions that represent them. According to Jacari, the 11 holidays match the benefit of over 80% of Disneyland Resort employees. Fair enough. She explained proposals might change and the negotiations are establishing initial employment terms and conditions for the first time, instead of changing an existing contract. Therefore, she said, no benefits were actually cut. And they'd be right, actually. No benefits have been cut to union members. But that's the thing. This is a newly formed union here. It's not as if these cast members here haven't been working all of this time. They have. And apparently, a lot of these benefits were things that they enjoyed before unionizing. However, these workers received paid parental leave before unionizing, as related by Walt Disney World News Today. Other unionized workers at Disney parks also received paid parental leave. One such group is characters actors at Walt Disney World in Florida. However, Jacari pointed out that Florida does not provide state disability payments for parental leave like California. Actors Equity responded in a statement, quote, "The existence of state disability for parental leave in California has not previously been a factor preventing the company from offering this benefit to these workers. It's not an excuse for eliminating that benefit now." Quote, "They are trying to strip away the very things that make the Disneyland experience what it is," said Actors Equity Executive Director Al Vincent Jr. Quote, "When you propose to take away paid parental leave from those who work day in, day out to give other families great experiences, that's not family friendly." Very interesting commentary here from the aggrieved union members. Now, here's what's interesting to me. First of all, it's like, ooh, it's a nice little union you have there. What a shame if something were to happen to it. We've heard that line before, right? And in fact, I think this is Disney applying these measures, maybe perhaps as a chilling effect, to prevent any other people from thinking that they can just unionize and get more out of the company. I think the company's taking a very stern tact here and saying, oh, you were trying to get more, here's less. Union busting? Not sure, but it definitely feels like it. This is pretty crazy, Disney Fan 55, that Disney would actually employ these kinds of tactics. But I will say there were talks of many unions actually forming for a period of time before these most recent wage increases and provided by both the state and Disney and so forth. It's very interesting what's going on here at Disneyland Resort.
Very interesting. They're wanting more. They're wanting more pay, but you can't always have it both ways. So Disney's saying, okay, we'll pay you. And yes, there are minimum wage requirements in California, but that doesn't mean we have to give all the benefits. So benefits are a cost. There's just no two ways about it. As a matter of fact, they have a petition now, to keep that. They said they're not budging.
Yes. So I want to go ahead and bring that up as well here. Let me see if I can actually find it in my notes. I know you found that. I thought that was very, very interesting. And here you go. Right here. Can't actually say the name of this person. But, I guess it's short for lizard, technically, right here. There you go. Short for lizard says, my comrades and I are asking for your help while we negotiate a contract for our newly formed union. The company is trying to wear us down and give us less, but we will not budge. Please support us by signing this petition and passing it along. Yes, indeed. Comrades, please come to our aid. It's very, very interesting, the use of terminology right there. I will say, Disney, one of the reasons why we've been seeing less entertainment in the parks, at least at Disneyland Resort, is in part because of these unions. I'll describe this incident briefly. At the Hyperion, right? I've long complained about that 2,000 seat venue. The fact, I think it's 1,886 to be precise, but 2,000 seat venue. It has been empty, pretty much, ever since the cancellation of Frozen for the shutdowns that occurred in March of 2020. They did have a short run where you had Rogers the Musical there for the summer of 2023, but that's it. For the majority of the time, 95% of the time, between 6 years ago and now, that 2,000 seat venue has been closed at Disney California Adventure. You can actually see it in this shot right here. That's that building in the back, painted to look like the sky there. It is frustrating as a guest that we can't enjoy 45, 50-minute experiences in that venue anymore. And the reason I'm told why that happened initially was in the fall of 2023, when in fact Steve Rogers the Musical was still going on, Disney wanted to go ahead and negotiate a show set list, right, that included less shows for nights that Oogie Boogie Bash would actually be taking place at Disney California Adventure. Because anybody who goes to Disney Resort will note that the queue space for the Hyperion is actually used as a treat trail and character meet and greet venue during Oogie Boogie Bash. Fair enough. Okay, that's fine. The problem, though, is that, well, you can't have a show take place during those times. So Disney was like, hey, look, listen, instead of doing, 6 shows, I believe at that time it was like 4 shows, if I'm not mistaken right there, it could have been 5. Let's just do 2 or 3. Now, Disney, because they were doing less shows, wanted to pay them, well, for 2, 3 shows, a reduced show selection right there. But the unions, they held firm. They said, no! You're going to give us full pay! The amount of shows that are on the marquee for any other day, you're going to give us that amount of pay. No matter how many shows we actually perform. Disney was like, okay, we'll just cancel the entire show. And now we have nothing in the Hyperion for going on 3 years here. And really nothing meaningfully for 6, let's be honest. Look, I'm not saying, this is not commentary on unionization, but every single action has a reaction. In this case, this is Disney's reaction to unionizing. Not saying it's great, not saying it's fair, but this is going to be what they do. Is this a chilling effect to actually discourage more unionization from taking place? Yeah. Does it actually classify as union busting? I would think so. But again, your interpretation may actually vary, and I'm not actually saying that here. I am saying, though, not a great place to be if you're a performer, obviously, and just wanted to go about your day and do your job and meet and greet with kids in a Mickey outfit. Not fantastic. Anything else before moving on? Disney Fan 55.
Oh, it's just so sad because it's, we're talking Hollywood. you
right.
Disneyland is right next to Hollywood, so they have access to the best of the best performers, and you can see them. I mean, it's tough to get someone that's a genie that looks like a genie, that's an Aladdin that looks like Aladdin, and a Jasmine that looks like a Jasmine, that sings like a Jasmine. They get it. But it's really sad because we want more entertainment, not less. And it is so expensive to live in California. So you see that. right now they're not making the movies in Hollywood like they were before, and the studios are all shutting down, and so these actors are needing the work and they're needing the pay too. But what's sad is when it's hard to find a job and you put out 70. We talked to someone the other day who was at a fast food restaurant. And they just said, "Oh, pull around. We're not taking any more orders." What? You're still open. The other guy down the street's closed. That's why we came over here. It's like, nope, we can't handle it. It's like, I understand, ma'am. They did service because we did the mobile order, and it was like, I take an Uber 2 hours to work. What? We should work at, instead of Burger King, work at In-N-Out. He goes, I put in 75 applications.
Yeah.
And this is the best I could get. And I have to take an Uber to work 2 hours away.
Yeah.
So you don't have as much clout to get whatever you want when Disney's like, if you don't want the job, there's thousands that do. So that's kind of, I can see it on both ways. It's really tough. We're, of course, wanting more entertainment, but it's a tough situation all the way around.
It's a tough situation, and for operations managers working at Disneyland Resort, we know it's only made tougher as the company really leans on them to provide their OI, or their operating income, every single quarter. I mean, look at the last quarterly earnings report that is given by the Walt Disney Company for Q3 fiscal year 2026. That those 20% gains in OI from Disney, well, they obviously come at a cost to everybody, but that includes the operations managers who actually work at the parks, right? The 20% from Disney Parks. That division right there, that's fueling everything Disney wants to actually do with their entertainment and otherwise. Again, they're spending $24 billion on content this year. How much are they actually spending on the parks? Well, they said they're spending $60 billion. Great, fantastic, awesome. What does that mean per year? $6 billion. It's all coming from the parks. Nothing's being thrown back. And so now you look at, an operation like Disneyland, it's like we have to maximize every single bit we can, and sometimes that's cutting costs like entertainment. And so the prospect of another union actually happening in which you're having to give more for the same or less and so forth, especially for the guest experience, it's like we're going to prevent that at all costs. Maybe they have. It's crazy what is actually going on here as these macroeconomic trends continue. Disney Fan 55 bringing up a great point that it is an employer's market, not necessarily an employee's market, which is a shame. I wanted to go ahead and leave off with a bit of good news though, because it's a little dour, this show right here. Bakudawa, that amazing inverting spinning coaster right there, world's tallest launching spinning inversion coaster. It's crazy. It's absolutely insane. I don't even know how to describe it really, other than it's a shuttle coaster, but it's a shuttle coaster that you've never really quite seen before. This thing's insane. We talked about it on a previous episode of Vash Sky ParkCast at length right here. Obviously, a lot of people excited about this specific coaster coming to Six Flags Great Adventure, and rightfully so. It looks awesome. Look at this POV. Looks absolutely fantastic right there. Over 300 feet in the air, spiraling up that corkscrew right there. Free spinning, inverted launch. Crazy. Okay, we were very concerned, though, about the capacity related to this ride. I know we talked about it at the time. It was like, ooh, are you, in fact, going to be able to get on this, given the issues and challenges related to this being a shuttle coaster and the length of experience with, a lack of trains on the track and so forth. What is the capacity going to be like for this? Well, from what I understand, as El Toro Ryan beautifully laid out in his video, which I recommend everybody actually see regarding this specific coaster right here. Apparently, there is a switch track mechanism in place so that one vehicle can actually be loaded while another is actually on the course right here, which should significantly increase capacity. So my earlier calculations, they are dead wrong because of that track switch element right there. Apparently, he was saying just shy of 1,000 people per hour, which for a Six Flags Great Adventure or regional theme park, that's actually pretty good, pretty decent. It's better than Ghost Rider, so that's awesome. If in fact they are able to hit those anywhere close to the theoretical thresholds right there, and actually cycle people through, have multiple trains on this course right here via that that track switch method, I think it should be really, really good. Really, really fun ride. And that is good news for everybody wanting to get on this. Also, too, got a bit of news actually on the fate of Supercharged, which is very, very interesting. And guess what, folks? I'm going to have to hold off on that until the next go round on the Vash Sky ParkCast. In fact, we have so much great stuff to look forward to. We've been hearing rumors about the Electrical Parade coming back. Is it indeed coming back? I'm not quite sure, but we're going to be talking about it anyway, because I do think there's a good chance it at least comes back and is consistent with these rumors right here. I think it's been speculated by Walt Disney World today that turned into a bigger story. And so some people are saying, well, maybe it is actually coming back. Some people are not. But I think the Electrical Parade is obviously a classic. It's going to celebrate its 55th anniversary next year, if in fact it does come back. Obviously make its debut after the opening of Magic Kingdom. 1972 right there, which is very, very cool. And to talk about all of that extended history right there, because it's been 55, you're going to love this. Vash and Vixen at 3 p.m. Eastern on Saturday.
Nice.
We're going to be talking about the Electrical Parade from the point when it was electrical water pageant out there in Seven Seas Lagoon, adapted for the land, all of that history. And we're going to include light magic, folks. Light tragic indeed. We're going to include that. We'll include a little bit of Paint the Night. Its journey over that time period right there. Its evolution as, I think, one of the best nighttime parades of all time. There's a reason why it's been around for 55 years. We're going to be talking about it this Saturday at 3 p.m. Eastern. And if you'd like to go ahead and submit your pet of the week for that show, you can go ahead and do so at, Vixen Sky 007 at gmail.com. Sorry, it's just, I was like reading something else, and then it just came into my brain right there. Vixen Sky 007 at gmail.com. Submit your pets, maybe with a photo of you, with a story, and we'll go ahead and feature those on Pet of the Week. Should be a fun time indeed. Again, that is Vash and Vixen at 3 p.m. Eastern. That's for you members out there. If you are a Sky Watcher, you get access to that show. So it is awesome. It is fantastic. I love doing it. And it should be a lot of fun going over the history of the Electrical Parade. Should be very, very good. Indeed. This is Man 55. Is there anything else that I forgot to hit or that we had starred there before we actually send on over to Marvin Montanaro and his M4 Empire stream?
Perfect. Well, yes. Here we go. Just a touchy. Oogie Boogie Bash. I heard Oogie Boogie Vash.
Oogie Boogie Vash.
Oh no!
That's really
I'll
interesting.
never hear it again the same. Just a touchy. You're great. You come up with the puns.
Yeah.
It's fantastic.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. That's a pun I haven't heard before, but pretty dang good right there. I'm gonna have to go ahead and chamber that for the next time we refer to Oogie Boogie Bash or maybe something like that right there. Very aggressive show. Yeah, I know it's a very aggressive show. I know. What is it? 21 Royale with cheese. I agree. We had to cover it. We had to get into all that crazy guest-related news right there. I don't like talking about that kind of stuff. I like talking about other things. But look, listen, it's a fact of life. I want to go ahead and keep you up to speed with the theme parks that we do dear love, and well, it happened. So we'll cover it. Freedom Seeker, though, coming on in here. I was at the disastrous press holder premiere of Light Tragic in 1997. Yes. Oh boy, because we were going to cover that. That's an amazing thing to be there because, pass holder premiere. They said this was going to be. Yeah, I think it was like. I don't think they said pass holder preview. I think they said like pass holder premiere originally on that ticket. Paul Pressler comes up on stage with Light Tragic. Unfortunately following behind him in a hilarious fashion that you have to hear the story about. He gets up on stage and says, "Hey, welcome to our first ever tech rehearsal. And it was like, what? I think he may have said dress rehearsal. It's one of the two. And it's like, oh boy, what are we in store for? And guys, you're not going to want to miss that show. Again, 3 p.m. Eastern on Saturday. All right. I think that just about concludes our show right here. Let's see. Let's get a little music going while I actually stumble around and see if I can actually attach Marvin's show to the redirect right there. Let's see if I can go ahead and do that. Disneyland 55? Was there anything else we wanted to go ahead and talk about? Oh, yeah. People go out in public on pajamas. It says it all. Well, that's
Tragic.
True.
Pajamas.
Yeah.
Very apropos.
I was just going to bring that up. Light Tragic, you see, or Light Magic as it was known in 1987. Light Magic actually featured the characters in pajamas. Why did it do that? Why wouldn't you just have the characters in their regular costumes? You can know all of that and more on Saturday's show. Should be a lot of fun. All right. That just about does it right there. Let's go ahead and send you on off to the M4 Empire right there. Should be... I think the schedule should be fine. I'll let you know on Saturday, though, if we have any changes in store right there. Thanks, everyone. Thank you for watching this amazing show right there. If you haven't yet already, go ahead and like the program right there. Share it out if you really do love us. And make sure you hit that, not just like button, but the comment section right there. Love to read your comments. And let us know what you want to see. All right. Just about does it. Let's go ahead and get out of here. Remember, folks, the sky is the limit.